Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
I really loved my childhood. I felt like I was the apple of my father's eye. My father and I just did everything together. I was kind of like his shadow, and my life was great. But as good as everything really was, one thing that also affected it was my father's alcohol abuse. He was alcoholic. I was with my dad fishing the day he went off probation, and he bought alcohol for the people that allowed us to fish on their property. And when they asked him to have a drink with him, I couldn't believe it, and it was whiskey, and I just remember my stomach got really upset, and it was rough. We went back home. Things started to change. I became very biting with my words. I would say really mean things to my dad. Everything was building to a bad ending. And then one day, Dad just left. I was there, home for lunch. We lived a half a block from school, and my mother was begging him not to leave. She said, "I can't handle these 6 kids. Please don't go." And he just got in the car and left. And instead of my anger getting less after my dad left, my anger got worse. And I had hated him for at least 3 solid years.
Through many dangerous toils and snares.
Somebody recognized me and invited me back to the church that we attended when I was a child. I walked in that evening, and the pastor, I don't remember what he preached on, but at the end of his message, he said, would you like to receive Jesus? And I remember thinking, I want nothing more than that. And I went forward, prayed an unemotional but very sincere prayer to invite Jesus to be Lord of my life. And before I got up and got back to the pew that I was sitting in, I just had this unbelievable desire to see my father and tell him I loved him. And it was the first indication that God was really doing something radical in my life.
The Lord has promised good to me.
So I wrote him a letter. He wrote me back. He offered to pay my way on the Greyhound bus to visit him. And if you have any idea of how many stops there are between Wisconsin and Washington, wow. My father, who was never late for anything in his life, was waiting, and he got a little nervous when he could see I was serious. I had thought about this a lot, and I said, "Dad, will you forgive?" And he interrupted me. He said, "It's okay, it's okay. Everything's okay." I looked him in the eye and I said, "No, Dad, you have to listen to me. I am sorry for my anger, for my mean, foul words, and for disrespecting you. And I remember he looked down at his shoes, he looked up at my shoulder, and then he looked me squarely in the eye. And he said, I forgive you. And then he paused and he said, but I haven't been the greatest dad in the world. Will you forgive me? Wow, he didn't have to say that. I looked in his big blue eyes and I said, Dad, I forgive you. And we hugged. We're not really a hugging family at that point, and we hugged, and that is still one of the greatest memories of my entire life. I'll never forget it.
Amazing grace, how sweet